Hello. Glad to be back, guys. Glad that Madison's in here.
Right on.
We were a couple
minutes late.
Couple minutes behind.
But hey,
somehow I was signed out.
We were trying to light the fancy candle here, and we got it going. Finally, we got it going. But you can't start a podcast without your nice fall scented candle, which is what it is. What scent is this again, James? Cinnamon sugar.
You can read.
Yeah, it does say cinnamon sugar. James bought this a couple weeks ago. Now let me tell you something about candles. Okay, I learned this week about candles. Alex has ordered a few nice candles, and so this one is meant to burn for, maybe like 24 hours. It's a cheaper candle that you purchase, James. I mean, I'm not going to hold that against you, but it's definitely like one of those candles you buy, you burn it over the course of maybe 2 days, and that's all she wrote. But apparently, if you buy the more natural wax, so like all soy candles, and they have a wood wick. Have you ever had those, those little maple candles that come in a maple tin, right? They have a wood wick and they have that crackling sound, which I think you'd like.
No, I've had one before, yeah.
They burn a long time, but they're more expensive. It's kind of the trade-off, right? So anyway.
I'm fine with these.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't need.
I'm just saying it's hard to light.
I don't need your pretentious.
I'm just saying it's hard to
stuck
light.
Up candles.
No. It's hard to light now because we're down to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, that's when you get a new one.
Right. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know a cost-benefit analysis on the candle.
I don't need to do that. You're crazy.
I will say, James, this candle choice, it's a good-smelling candle. It has.
It's very potent. It has a very strong smell.
It has a real good strength to it. That's for sure. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But one thing that kind of bothered me today, John, was I was going to come out here to drive here, and I turned on. So it's been a little bit, but I got a car fairly recently, and
oh yeah, that's right.
It was exciting. It was exciting. I'm in my late 20s, and I hadn't owned my own car yet,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was a fun thing.
Yeah, of course, it's always exciting.
But I don't know. My feelings on it today are mixed feelings, John.
Feelings on your car?
Yeah.
What?
I got into the car and I started it up, and I look at the little display screen, and it has XM in it, right?
Right.
Satellite radio, which I've been enjoying.
Yeah. Sirius XM or whatever it's called now.
I never had XM before.
Pretty exciting.
And
playing 40s Junction, likely. You like 40s Junction?
I did enjoy the 40s Junction.
James is an old soul.
I listened to some of the pop channels. I listened to the country ones, the highway as well.
Sure. Highway's great.
Wheelie's Roadhouse.
Well, yeah, that's a good one.
But this isn't an XM ad. I just, to be honest, when we were younger and we listened to XM, it seemed so futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem as futuristic now. It feels a little outdated almost.
Right. Feels like kind of
cool,
a little bit of an in-between, right? Like a bit of an in-between, like not quite. I think that the issue is deal, but
the issue is when you go by some tall buildings, it'll cut out and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've never really fixed that.
Why?
Yeah.
You think?
Anyways, I gotta finish my thing here.
Okay, so
get in the car. I'm gonna listen to 40s Junction.
Right.
Because that relaxes me.
Yeah. That and the fall scented candles. So
and
good for the fall.
Up comes a notification, and it says, "Are you ready to go to such and such Aerosmith?" Like, I don't want to say your address.
Right. That's nice.
It knew where I was going to go because of, I guess, the trend that on Mondays at this time I come here.
So it's smart enough. So you don't like that though?
No.
You don't want to be known.
It knows where I'm going. It has the data.
The car could probably drive itself, even though it's not autonomous. It's like it knows you're going to go there.
So, someone probably could log in there or hack in and figure out my travel patterns.
That's rough.
Exactly where I am.
That's rough.
What I do at certain times.
Now, is that just like
I have no clue
thing
why
that has to do with your car, or is it other?
I don't think it's that special. It's probably in most cars now.
Alex, we haven't watched the DVD. The DVD. Wow! I just said that. Anyway, we haven't watched the film. It's a documentary, and but Alex played me the trailer for it. Something to do with social media knowing everything about you to the point where, I mean, we're concerned to even talk near our phones, right? Because they know. That's that. I mean, we're getting closer to that thing where I feel like I'm going to start moving back to Northern Ontario and live in a cabin and live off the land kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point. I mean, there's got to be a line in the sand. Where is your line in the sand, James? Like, at what point does technology hit a certain juncture where you go, you know what? I'm out.
No,
Done with society.
John,
I'm out.
I
ever come for you?
I had your opinion when I was a younger guy. I'm not necessarily old, but I thought the cabin thing was the thing and whatever. But I think I've
Now
graduated
you're into the
to
comforts of life.
no, I've graduated to acceptance. I accept the
You accept that artificial
the craziness.
intelligence
Oh
is
yeah,
gonna take over your life.
I'll put the thing in my head.
You'll do it. You'll do
Oh,
it.
I will.
You're gonna
Yeah.
do the Elon
Yeah,
Musk thing.
and I'm right
Okay.
into. There's a new
Wow,
a
very
VR
different than me.
There's a new VR headset that is getting released this week. It's
Ooh,
been
exciting.
it's part owned by Facebook, and they require you to log in with your Facebook
Wow,
info.
always.
And so they're gonna know exactly what the heck I'm doing, because I really am excited and pumped up to get one of these new Oculus Quest 2. It's apparently better than ever, and it's cheaper than
I am
ever.
interested in seeing this.
John, I honestly think Facebook is making a huge gamble here, and they're putting out a very reasonably priced VR headset, more than ever before in terms of price.
Wow.
And the performance is standalone. You don't need a computer. It performs by itself.
Oh, that's new though.
And it
not.
has 4K resolution. It's insane.
Wow.
So I'm.
So you're
I honestly
willingly
think,
submitting yourself to technology. You
I
just
think-
decided to give in.
I think that they want to sell these. They're putting the price so low, and they're making it so good that they want to get these in people's homes, so that for the reason of not that they're going to make a ton of money on them, because I think that they're actually going to. They definitely could.
Right.
Now the pricing hasn't been officially released, but the data
It's supposed to be
mine
good,
kind
though.
of apparently it's low. And I think that they're kind of going to work on a loss so that Facebook can get in people's lives even more.
Wow.
I honestly
It's
do.
great.
I'm not. That's not like some crazy conspiracy thing. It's too like it's compared to the competitors. Apparently, this new headset is so much better than they've been before, and it's a lot more affordable. And it's just before Christmas, right? So they're.
I think the line in the sand for me.
You should Google it.
I will. I think
I'm
the line in
gonna
the
Google
sand
it.
for me is when we get so to the point where we have to have our brains or bodies in some way merged with artificial intelligence in order to compete with our, the artificial intelligence in the world or with computers. Like the minute we have to compete with the thing we created, I'm out. I'm out. It's all fishing, living off the land, hunting, whatever we got to do to survive way back north. I think that's where. Oh, this
is what it's going to look like. But see, it's
no, I say that, and
Oculus is
I'm really
owned by
excited about
Facebook.
this.
And the games, John. You're a big Star Wars guy.
Ooh, okay.
There's,
Well, I will stick around for Star Wars World.
Yeah, it's
we got to do that.
It's pretty crazy. If we go back here, you can see in the news, Facebook leak reveals Oculus Quest 2 4K standalone VR headset. It's a big deal. It's fresh off the presses here. We got 7 hours ago. Doubles resolution.
Wow.
Massively upgraded VR. It's a big deal.
You know
this is going to be
funny?
big, and it's cheap.
This
Walmart.
thing is really slick looking, but I just know in a few years, like 20 years or something, we'll be looking back and saying, look how bulky those things were. I mean,
Well,
they'll
just in a
they'll be like
year-
a contact lens or something.
No, why this makes it, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what makes this pretty extraordinary is a year ago, they released the first Oculus Quest, John, a year ago.
Okay.
This one is like reduced by a
Substantially.
significant amount, and its resolution is insane through the roof. The processing is crazy, and they're putting it out this fast after, like, it's an aggressive move
Right.
that they're doing to
Well, I
try to
remember,
make VR an actual thing, because it has it's kind of just kind
It
of
hasn't really come out. I
No.
can remember 5 years ago when the Oculus Rift came out. It was it was obviously very impressive technology, but didn't do the thing that, where it really had that kind of sense of staying power with everyday people. And maybe it's because it was expensive too. I mean, from what I recall, but we're gonna do a dark, like living in the Star Wars
I will
galaxy.
say the Star Wars game looks fantastic. That was
Sure.
a big deal for them to do that.
I'd do
to
that.
Make that game. But the one really cool thing about it is that you can watch movies on the headset. This is a big reason why I want to do it, because I want to watch movies in it and
Right.
feel like I'm in a movie theater.
Yeah.
And like we've
hey, COVID
you
might
and
be
I-
pushing us to this faster.
you
right?
and I could go into the theater
Right.
and watch a movie together.
Well,
and
not the theater, but like in here, we could sit in here and pretend we're in the theater.
yeah, well, we can go into the virtual
Like
theater.
the theater. Got it. Yeah.
And there's like a virtual concession.
Right,
It kind of
right.
feels like it's cool. It's a really, I think it's like when we first got our iPhones. Remember our iPhones? And we were pretty fortunate to be able to get iPhones, but
we got the 3G. The first model that we ever had was the 3G.
it just felt like
second generation.
There was nothing that was like that, you know? And
I remember the guy saying to us,
there's an excitement to it that was crazy.
the guy saying, listen,
this feels like that to me.
you're going to have 6 gigs of data per month.
And you'll never go over that.
And he said, you're never going to need any more data than that. Like that's way more than you need for anything. Well, now it's like you can burn through 6 gigs a day. He said you can watch all kinds of movies online, and you'll never run over that. Well, now that's kind of laughable. But anyway, that's kind of how it goes. But I will
Madison,
say that
thanks.
is exciting.
Thanks for being here. We're pretty good. Desi
wants to go off grid.
Def going off grid. Amy's in here again.
Fair
Glad to have you back, Amy. Yeah, I haven't tried VR either, but I've been waiting for one of these headsets to really kind of sell me, you know, to be like, the fact that it's 4K, it seems pretty reasonably priced, even relative to like what PlayStation has tried to do with VR headsets.
Right.
It's kind of comparable to the PlayStation headset, and the PlayStation headset, other than being connected with your PlayStation and the sort of proprietary games they have, this VR seems like its capabilities are like way beyond the PlayStation one. So
You're sold.
yeah, that was exciting this week, because that's actually the official announcement is this Wednesday, I think. But you know, we talk about tech stuff on here on the show. James wants VR Fortnite. I definitely would.
Of course.
I definitely would.
That's actually
the movies.
That's probably a major. Like you've reined that one in, but like let's be honest, privately, that's a big one for you playing Fortnite on VR. No, is it not?
No, it's not actually.
No.
I would say.
Right.
I love you taking it. No, I would.
No,
say
I'm
more,
trying to uncover the layers here. Like I think for real.
I would say anything that's more relaxing, like Animal Crossing is a huge game for relaxing
You've been all about
game
that
fans. You know, games like Minecraft, I think more relaxing.
That'd be a good one.
Well, I mean, I would not to say
well, you can
that
enter a space though in
Yeah.
Minecraft, right? Well, it's
not
like-
to say that those exciting kind of games wouldn't be amazing
Mhm.
on VR. I just think that that's something that would probably be a little farther
Just
away. Like,
sort of
but
like-
maybe if they can get it done, that would be amazing.
Give you a
But
heart
I would,
attack.
I can foresee a lot of those kind of relaxing kind of more low key games could very well be done in VR and would be like kind of a really great relaxing escape for people.
Right. Because they're not as complex to try and make them those sort of like action games.
I think so. I think in terms of just the controls and stuff,
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
as.
I would think what big thing for VR is
It's hard to-
is exploration, right? Like just the
Yeah.
ability to explore.
and
another
that's
one,
why
right?
a game like Minecraft would be amazing.
Right.
But let's.
Anyway, we'll get off that. Okay, hang
played
on.
Among
Hang on.
Us.
I have something queued up here.
That's
queued up.
Among Us is. I just want to answer Amy. Dark Wolves in here. He's a big game guy.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
we got. He's big on games.
Amy says Among Us. I haven't played Among Us, but it looks really great. It's a game, John, that it's not about the graphics and about the
Right.
you know, sort of flash of the game. It's a really simple cartoon kind of game, but the main
Wow.
draw of it is people's communication with each other. So they go on they're on their mics
Wow.
and they're chatting with each other, and you have to decide as a group who you think is the like traitor to the group, and it's randomly chosen every game.
Whoa.
So you of
The
your group
Judas.
of like 6 or whatever it is, there's a couple of traitors, and they of course have to be on the other side and try to sell that they aren't the traitor.
Wow.
And it's very much a human based
Little bit
interaction
like
game.
spy stuff though, like moles and counterintelligence stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Kind
So
of
it's just a cool, unique. Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, I was just gonna cue this up.
This is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had to.
Come on, vitamin C, you know, right?
Yeah. probably very loud.
Okay, that's my little cue that this is our final episode of the season 1.
That's the song you play.
Yeah, as we go on, we remember all the times we had together. But as our lives change,
One thing I will say,
we will still be friends forever. Come on, man! It's at the end of everything. This song is
this
at the end of everything.
This first season has been.
Oh, I really worked hard on
just.
I picked that.
That's good. It's fine choice. I
It is
just
a fine
don't let
choice.
me don't get me off my train of thought here. This season has had a lot of struggles, I would say, in terms of our technological ability. Everybody knows that.
James the glass half empty.
But I do think that the crew that's here, I think we will, because John and I, we plan on growing this with being able to go back out on the road and play shows. And I think that, that this initial group here we're going to remember a lot of, this is honestly going to be some of the best times, man.
Honestly, this is a completely new territory for us to jump in online, to do some sort of regular thing that interacts with people that mean a lot to us, our fans and friends and, family out there. And I call all of our fans like our family, the part of the broader Abrams family.
That was the whole goal of,
I remember us saying the reason we want to do this podcast was to emulate what it's like to be out on the road with us when we're with our guys or with our band, which is like a family to us, but also to be what it's like off-road with us when we're with our family, 4 generations getting together. Obviously, family is a big part of the music that James and I play. It's been a big part of the music that we play for years. And as the 4th generation on tour, we still have those kinds of interactions with our family. So for us, we wanted to make sure it felt like we literally welcomed you into our living room here. And I think that, for all the technical stuff, and the best thing about it is it's honest, I think, for, all these technical faux pas, there's a sense of, in my opinion, sort of upfrontness to the way that season 1 unfolded, which feels like when you're sitting around at a dinner with a family and someone might say something off color, or not that we do that, but someone might, there might be some sort of disjointedness in the conversation. There might be some sort of trip up or whatever. There's a couple little glitches in the technology for us.
Yeah, I just felt
everybody out there, wrapping up my point, everybody out there, because you feel like family, and hopefully it's back and forward, it's the same for you guys. There's a sense of forgiveness when that stuff happens that comes with being a tight-knit crew. And that's what I'll say about that.
I felt just like limited with, not that Zoom isn't good. I think it's good. I just feel this is like the bare minimum we could do right here.
This is the start. It's the start.
Bare minimum.
It's the start. I'm trying to be positive. It's the start. It's the beginning. We have to start somewhere.
I watch streamers and stuff, right? And
I know.
With the quality of our video, it's we are doing some humble work here.
That's it. humble work. Yeah, fair enough.
When I look at our quality, it looks like
it's good and fuzzy.
We're looking through a dirty window.
Real standard definition. It's got a nostalgic quality to it, right? We're trying to go for that 2003 film aesthetic. That's what we're going for.
I think we'll laugh one day. Is that basically my point? I think we'll laugh one day, and I'm gonna figure out some sort of situation where I have a computer that can run more than
Microsoft Word
messages. Microsoft Word
and nothing else.
Then we'll have a mobile computer that can stream things from the road and stuff like that. But
that's exciting.
Man, it'd be great we've talked about setting up something on the bus, like at the back of the bus, to have.
I know we want to have that kind of flexibility. We want to take you on the road with us, and so that's where we'd like to have some flexibility there technologically.
Yeah. So I guess that's maybe. Yeah, all I want to say on that. I mean, I may think of other things, but
we appreciate your patience, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us. And that's actually one of the great joys that I've found every time we get on to the program here, when we see the same people chiming in on the comments. It's like we get to have a weekly hang with all of you. And the fact that we can do this commenting in real time makes it really feel like there is a sense of community that's building here. And we really want to, give back to you guys in a way that sort of ups the ante, I guess, in the next round. So that's kind of what we're focusing on for the second season is, I say we still have Petey the censorship owl. Like we need to have Petey the owl with us, incorporated in the set. Like I'm just trying, thinking, but we'll have a little bit more of a ramp up in the production.
If we ever need chat moderators, I definitely would say that Amy would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
she has,
for sure.
she understands, these kind of situations. She knows way more. She knows way more about Twitch and all that stuff than we ever know. But we're trying to stay up with what's going on. And
actually, I think Linda Robb has just asked a good question about On the Road. Are gigs coming up in your near future? We do have a couple things coming together for October. We haven't been able to announce some of those yet. One of them that is announced, though, is that we're doing the CMA Ontario Awards in London. We are up for a couple awards there, Group or Duo of the Year and Roots Artist of the Year. And it's a drive-in show. I believe there are tickets available. They just opened up some new blocks of tickets. So if anybody's in that area, check that out. And it's going to be really fun. I'm really glad that the awards are being, going forward this year. And that I'm not sure if there's going to be an online component to that, but we have some other things that are going to be a little bit more online based as well. Mostly in October though. So we're excited for sure. I know that, thank you for the question, Linda. Like we're itching to play with our crew again.
Oh yeah, sure. Absolutely. So when we'll see the second season start, Linda asks, it's basically whenever I get the computer.
When James gets his act together.
And you guys know me. I'm yeah.
You're what? you're prompt or you're delayed.
John, I think they know by now that like I'm not that proficient with this stuff. So.
Well, yeah, you're doing well. I got to give you a pat on the back. You've done really well pulling this together, James. You're focusing on it, and James is the one.
We got some people listening to the audio versions. I see some downloads. That's nice.
Of course.
Well, you don't know. You don't look at any of them.
I don't look at any of them after. I just talk and leave. That's pretty much what I do.
So
and come up with stuff with you.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but not this week.
Not this week.
Not this week.
Yeah, I got a few random things.
Yeah,
this week,
I do like this though.
This week was kind of big. Well, everybody not everybody, but people that are here that were watching last week would have known that my favorite hockey team got kicked out of the playoffs. So, right. Sports wise, I got into. I watched some football. The NFL started up. Mm-hmm. This week, which was big. I can't even believe that they are playing. They're playing just like in normal stadiums, and
I know
they have some of the stadiums have fans in them.
I know
it's pretty aggressive.
Wow,
it's an aggressive.
A little different than the NBA games I was watching, where they've got like holographic. My guess is it's people who maybe you can talk this, but people who have paid to be able to have their faces there in this like mini crowd. Maybe. It's pretty weird. And it's like, it looks like there's a bunch of posters of people.
Might be a lottery too.
Yeah,
it kind of might be weird if they sell those spots.
Some were really cool where they're actually like faces on Zoom on little screens sitting in the seats, which was cool. It's kind of like that Bryan Adams music video for Heaven, which has a whole theater full of TVs, and on the TVs are like people and stuff like that, or I think it was him or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh no, it was his, like the love of his life kind of thing was on the TVs. But that is an off-road moment there. What was my point? Oh yeah, Raptors unfortunately are out. Celtics, another Boston team kicked them out.
Yeah, so, and
right to the bitter end though on the series.
Nothing against the Raptors, but I'll tell you what, I was surprised. And I guess, how should I put this? Yeah, I don't have anything against the Raptors, but I was kind of pleasantly okay with the Celtics. I didn't know the Celtics were any good.
Yeah,
but I'm a Boston sports fan.
I mean, I think everybody here wanted to see the
Except
Raptors.
For the Patriots, I can't cheer for the Patriots just because I wasn't on the Patriots train before they became such a
big deal. Yeah. Yeah, and they've been a big deal for a long time.
Yeah, and they kept rolling. They got
just steamrolling.
Do you know what happened?
I watched the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
but
no,
I'm
not
saying
not this year. I haven't been
Yeah.
watching this year.
they have what's his name? Cam Newton.
Right.
Big deal quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you not know these things?
I know that Cam Newton's on the Patriots, but I haven't been
Yeah,
watching how he's been
that
doing.
was a big signing, and he played quite well.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
And
I saw that in the news.
Tom Brady,
Right.
down in Tampa Bay,
That's right. That's a weird
lost.
one. I know.
He lost. So
Well, maybe it was
He
about
looks-
the team.
okay.
Maybe it was about the team. So, but you know, that's been something that you know, we have been trying to keep an eye on. You've been trying to keep an eye on this, you know, like how COVID has affected sports, and that's what we'll say about that. So James, is,
where are you going with this?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Do you have any final thoughts about the NFL? Did you think
I haven't been
that's an
watching football.
aggressive?
What, an aggressive move that they've got?
That they
actually
have
people
their-
in-
no,
well, how
they're
many
in
people do they
stadium.
have in the stands?
Some of them.
Like, is it
Linda
full
says
on?
30% attendance.
30. That is still seriously
big.
huge attendance.
Yeah,
Like, think about how many people go to those stadiums.
that's aggressive.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Considering the state of affairs, you know, with COVID, that's a weird one to wrap my head around. That's for sure. But anyway,
Well,
we'll see.
John, you know, often when we go to do one of these episodes, I'll just check on sites, and there's sites out there that do this, but this day in history,
Oh yeah.
and us being musically inclined,
Mhm.
I thought that this one, most days I go on, it's something like pretty depressing, pretty sad.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in
Somebody's
history.
assassination.
There's a lot of that in history.
And I
right?
think to myself, we can't go on stream every Monday and talk about
something,
some
really.
assassination.
That's right. No,
So
for sure. For sure.
but
That's not the tone of this podcast.
a little
It's just-
more positive one today was that in this day in history, Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled
That's-
Banner,
That's right. Francis Scott Key. Right on.
which have we ever had to sing Star-Spangled Banner at a hockey game before? We've done a few anthems.
I think we have had to sing it before. We had to sing it once.
I remember you and I tested each other, and we could go through basically the whole, like we know that the
Didn't we sing
Star-Spangled
it
Banner.
at like a Wellington Dukes game or something where
Maybe.
they had a guest team from Michigan come in to play, and we actually had to sing both.
That's
I
why
think
I'm
we did.
asking
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
I can't remember when, but I think we did.
But
I know the lyrics to it. It's a good.
yeah.
Listen, it is a good song.
That-
that is like
that does say
it's a
something.
solid
That
song.
does say something that we knew the lyrics though, and
and they wouldn't be able to sing it mostly down there. I mean,
no, that wasn't where I was going with that.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say that considering that we didn't have singing in school or whatever, like that really is
yeah.
a sign of a song. if
well,
you
it's
can-
got a great big effect, and also it's
and the impact of the U.S. on Canadians.
particularly, yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of phenomenal
Were you
renditions.
suggesting
Why-
that there's a ton of Americans that can't sing it?
No, sing "Oh Canada" is my guess.
Okay.
And in
I was
fairness,
like,
I'm
that
not
is
just making a
pretty-
generalization. We have talked to a lot of dear friends of ours in the States who wouldn't be able to sing "Oh Canada," but let's be honest. That
Well,
Star
here's
Spangled
a
Banner
test.
is a solid song, and it's also in like so many movies, right? So I mean, that's how it makes its way around the world and kind of permeates into
Yeah.
culture outside of the United States.
Well, and you know what? In all fairness, I do watch a lot of sports, and they often
lot of
sing
it,
it, so
that's
I
for
hear it a lot.
And you know what? Maybe I stand corrected. I wonder if there's a lot of like hockey fans, for instance, particularly hockey fans in the United States, that know all the words. I'd be curious to find out, that know all the words, or at least most of the words to "Oh Canada," just because they watch so much hockey. And
No, they
obviously
wouldn't. I don't think
No, you
so.
don't think so?
I don't think so.
I'd be curious to know that. I'd be curious to know that. I wonder if there's a survey we could put together for that on that front.
I'm Googling this because I was a little curious, and I want to test you, John, because this would be pretty.
Uh-oh.
This would be pretty whack if we didn't know the answer to this. Well, I know the answer now,
Okay.
but we knew.
So I'm the
Star-Spangled
one on the
Banner.
spot.
Could you sing the British national anthem?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
No.
And we have
Wait,
Amy
what-
in here
What is the
from England.
What is the? Oh man, I feel terrible. We are in the Commonwealth. We are descendants closer descendants of Great Britain.
I Google it and it
We
says
still have the Queen as our
John,
monarch.
Well, no, I this in my head was what I thought, but it still
Save the
says
Queen
that
is-
God Save the Queen is the royal anthem.
Oh, God Save the Queen.
No, that's the royal anthem.
Right. So what's
In
the
a number
British
of
national anthem?
yeah. Well, that's what I
Man,
Googled. God Save the Queen
we
comes
are
up.
exposing ourselves now. Amy, we're so
That's what
sorry.
no, that's what I would have
We're so
guessed,
sorry.
but then I thought maybe they updated. Yeah, God Save the Queen. It says it's the national
God Save
anthem.
the Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well,
what on a test I would have answered that. So
Yeah. Still a victorious day.
yeah, I know it. We're gonna get some chat, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna get some chatter.
Wait.
It's a great one though. I do like God Save the Queen, but you know, people used to
Amy-
sing that, have to sing that in Canada.
yeah, we did.
Right.
So
like not two
I-
generations ago.
we do know we are aware of it. I just didn't know if maybe they had updated it at some point.
Right.
That's what I would have been
Right.
skeptical on.
Amy says, nor does the rest of the UK.
I don't even know the rest of the verses past verse 1.
So
nor does
maybe do they only sing verse 1? Like what's that?
Maybe that's all they do in school or something.
okay. Yeah.
Or they just mouth along
Right,
or something.
Right.
She's crying.
Okay, but let's be honest
crying,
though.
emoji
The
laugh.
Queen is Canada's monarch. We have a Governor General who is appointed to
I
be
have
the Queen's
The
representative of
utmost
this country,
respect.
and we don't know the national anthem of
Yeah.
our parent country.
Yeah.
James, we have to change that.
Sorry, what? We don't know what?
We don't know the national anthem. Of
John, I just told you I would have guessed
we,
that.
We don't know the words to it. Like we should know all the words to God Save the Queen. We should take that upon ourselves.
If it started rolling, I would be able to mouth along. I'd be able to do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know the. I can do
Like
it. I can do it. And we're not testing me, but I can.
No, I'm not. But just to go from zero, just go.
I know all the words of O Canada in English and French. Madison says that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Madison.
French. I can.
We learned that. We learned the French version of O Canada
because of school, but typically it kicks in like halfway through in my head because that's the way it often was presented or whatever, and so it's kind of like I think God Save the Queen. Well, even with the Star-Spangled Banner, it's easy because it's the say can
right. It's also like I stand by this. It is in so many movies and so much pop culture, that song, that it's everywhere around the world. People don't even know how to speak English, know how to sing the Star-Spangled Banner sometimes, right? So
our dad would be. There's nothing to be disappointed about. We knew that God Saved the Queen, and we knew that's what
they didn't teach us in school.
I would have been 90% sure that the God Save the Queen was the national anthem. We're moving on.
Right.
What museum,
Like
John?
I would have answered that on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, A, B, C, or D.
What museum?
No 50-50 needed.
What museum did we see remember we saw the lyrics, I thought, of the Star-Spangled Banner. Remember we were in some museum. I thought I'd bring that up.
Was it
It
when
was
we were
probably
in
in
DC?
Washington.
So we played at a really cool, we
But it
were on
was
the road.
cool.
We played at a really cool place in Washington, DC called Hill Country Barbecue. Was that the name of it? I believe. And not too far from where the Washington Capitals play. This was a number of years ago. And actually, I think Core Blund was going to be playing there like the week after us. It was a really great barbecue joint there. I think they've got one in New York City as well. So if you're ever in DC, hopefully it's still there. Go, give it a shot. It's awesome. But the nice thing about being in DC was that we got to actually see it. You had been on a school trip before. I'd never been before we went to go play.
Yeah, I like Washington.
And it was like, it blew my mind.
What does DC stand for, John?
Washington District of Columbia.
Yes.
Okay. But what is so phenomenal?
Is it a state?
No, it's a district. It's not actually state. All the other ones sort of, yeah. Anyway, we won't go into that. But what I found so phenomenal about Washington, DC was just how massive, how gargantuan the buildings are that they built. I mean, they are like Roman size. And I mean, that becomes clear. I mean, when they built the American Empire, and I call it that because that's kind of what they were sort of establishing, or at least I think in the minds of the founding fathers, this concept of a new empire in the West. You can clearly see that by the architecture. I mean, the columns and the statues that they built in that town are like, modern Rome. And it's just, it floored me. So I think we were at Smithsonian, and we went to go see at one of the exhibits there. I think it had it engraved on the wall. Don't fact check me on that, by the way. I'm really, really trying to reach back deep into our music on the road history here. And I do marginally well at that at the best of times.
Desi says, or if you watched enough Queen concerts, you'd know the words.
That's true.
Fair
enough.
Of God Save the Queen.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did they have that?
Yeah. It was incorporated into, well, you have to ask Desi. He's got, I mean, very, very sort of operatic though, right? It makes sense with Queen.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking of that. And then it connected with, obviously this week, on a more serious note, being the anniversary of September 11th.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's 19 years. Can you believe it?
Wow.
I think what's so wild for me to fathom is that there are students that have started college and university this fall that were born after 9/11.
Right. So they would not have even experienced it.
And that is wow. Like, I mean, because it was so, I mean, I was 11 years old when it happened, and it just completely sort of rocked our world. Like, even in Canada, I mean, I remember we were actually at, so Nana, our great grandmother, we talked about her in some former podcasts there, in some former episodes. She had just passed away, and we were just at the graveside service for her. And we went back to our other great grandparents' place. And when we got to the door there, Granny Donna is what we called her there. She said, there's been a plane crash. There's been a plane crash at the two towers or the World Trade Center. And of course, at that time, we didn't know. But I just remember not even at that age sort of understanding what the World Trade Center was. And it was a very quick awakening as to the whole circumstance. And I remember watching in real time live on TV, the second tower hit at 11 years old. And every year I try and watch it every year as a sort of a paying respect, if you will. And it takes me back to being 11 years old, and it just completely shakes me. But I did want to mention a really good friend of ours. He's a phenomenal songwriter, great artist, Kevin Mack. He had a great post on Instagram. You should go check out Kevin Mack music, by the way. He has a great Instagram there, and obviously a phenomenal batch of songs. He co-wrote Good Old Days, Sounds Good to Me with us. He had a really poignant mention on Instagram about how he went to school not too far outside of Washington, D.C.
Did he?
And he was in Spanish class when he was a kid when it happened. And the teacher came into class having found out and was crying and told the students in the class.
A family member or something?
And yes. I mean, a bunch of the class that he was in, their parents worked at the Pentagon. And so the teacher had to come in and tell them Pentagon's been hit, and the class just fell apart. And then you realize, we're Canadians, we have American friends, we have American family. This time of year is a very poignant time of year, not just for Americans, but for people who are connected with Americans and people who know people through by proximity through this kind of thing. And so I definitely bear that every year. And I thought it was a really beautiful, touching tribute there that
right on.
Kevin Mack mentioned. And he went on to say, these are little reminders. COVID's a bit of that reminder that, as divided as we can be as people in amongst our own nations, that we try and look to these shared experiences to bring us together. So I think that's a big thing I want to say anyway. So,
on more of a uplifting note, I thought that when I was just kind of digging through some of the stuff around September 11th this week, I saw a really cool performance by a guy who I'd known about and a song that I knew about. But I thought this performance was just, honestly, as a vocalist, he can really sing. Is an older country artist named Lee Greenwood.
Yes. Right.
And I just thought his performance was really cool.
God bless the USA, right?
Yeah, and so I sent you the. What did you think of the performance?
You know what,
Like
for a
it's
long
tough
time,
to sing in those situations, and he just knocked.
Well, in the
song
situation
apart.
that he was in when you sent me the video is actually just after 9/11. Isn't he at Yankee Stadium singing?
It's
right?
a World Series, so it would have been like
World
the
Series.
winter. It's in the near the winter,
Right.
right?
And he had this hit in the 1980s. In 1980, I can't remember what year it was, but anyway, what I thought was really interesting was that song. I mean, listen, that song is real. You know, there's a really strong sense of patriotism about it. That song has been done by a lot of people. It's been done really campy. It's been done really like overdone, right?
Yes.
And so there's a lot of times where that song has sort of cemented itself in my mind as maybe, you know, it can have at least in the way that I remember it, a cheesy quality to it. But then I actually watched this video you sent me from the guy who wrote it and performed it. And the way he performed it, I was like, wow, there is something so beautifully strong,
Real
elemental, honest, real about it that I'd never heard that song that way before. And so it really changed my mind about that song. I didn't know that I'd have my mind changed about that song when you sent it to me, but it totally did. I had been misperceiving it, I think, in a lot of ways. And it sort of reinvigorated my you know, my co-patriotism for our friends from the South. So I really like that. That was really cool. So you got to play it.
I will. The C mentions about the 38 planes that took refuge at Gander Airport, and
That's
so
right.
in Newfoundland, right?
Absolutely wonderful story. And there's actually a great Broadway play about that that story, right? So
is that the specific event that
yeah, that was about that issue. So wow, what was it? Come From Away.
That okay.
Come From Away. Yeah.
It's not. I knew it was about.
Yeah, what a wonderful story. And I haven't seen the play, but I haven't either. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Good.
Linda mentions. I remember I was teaching. I had a grade 9 student who always needed to go to the washroom and would disappear for a long time. She arrived back and informed the class of the crash.
Oh my goodness.
She had seen it on the new TV mounted in the foyer.
Wow.
I didn't believe her. And then Mr. Hills came to each room to tell us the news.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That would have been something if she was making it up.
Yeah.
What a terrible move that would have been.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like that would have been.
Like that is not something to.
Well, was that the speculation at what?
Linda says she didn't believe her, and because it was pretty wild.
Well, it was just it was
news.
so. I mean, in fairness, and you know, yeah, it was unfathomable. Even when we were watching it live, I remember thinking, you know, when you're young, you go, you know, is this like something in this like a movie? Like, what is this? Not you can't even believe it, right? So. Anyway, I do love this video. There's something. Okay, I will say there's something about 80s. Country music, certain men in country music, and 80s yacht rock, which has its own Sirius XM channel.
It does.
Okay. Yacht rock being like Kenny Loggins, right? You know, there's a huskiness to the way things are sang and a real kind of like, there's a husky power to that 80s stuff. I've been listening a ton to Meatloaf. I Do Anything for Love. There's a good huskiness to that, but this is what I found with this performance, and I like this kind of thing. I'm gonna throw my headphones on.
Please direct your attention now to the microphone behind.
And a big part of why John and I respect this is that we've sang before games or athletic events.
Yes,
it's not easy, and this song is not an easy song to sing. And I have a lot of respect for this. He can clearly sing like. Incredibly, like
and sing in such a way,
especially this 2001, and I watched a video of him recently. He can still sing like this today. He's a vocalist, a pure vocalist. This guy.
I will say it's not easy over those echoey speakers to sing in such a way that really strikes people's hearts. It's the same with the national anthem. Obviously, this isn't it, but when people sing the national anthem, a lot of the time they'll go for pizzazz or for wow, I can look at how great I can sing.
There's a little bit of that,
the best I know, but the best kinds are the ones that go.
It's just
that make you feel it, right?
Yeah,
and that's when you're in the stadium, you got to feel that.
And the footage is good. They cut to people their eyes, but
hey, enough exposition. Let's play it for them.
Yeah. There was one more thing I was going to say though, but just watch for to show how indicative what we're saying, in terms of it being difficult to sing in some of these situations. There's some feedback you'll see of like 2 or 3 times
Classic.
of the sound guy just trying to hold on to he's holding on to the sound, and
Pushing her a little too hard.
It just shows how it's in these situations. So for Lee to kill it like this in a big moment where it's like the pressure's on, it's supposed to be a patriotic moment after that terrifying event. This was quite a live performance, so it's worth watching.
Behind home plate. And please welcome one of America's premier entertainers, Grammy Award winner, Lee Greenwood.
Just a clean
Gloves are the aesthetic choice, or is it cool? I don't know.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Almost like he's saying it like a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it.
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Man, that guy could sing. Holy
God
smokes.
bless the USA.
Ooh. I'm sold
From
there.
the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
Good melody. That's kind of the deal, right?
to be an American.
You see this flag? It's like,
I know I'm free.
Yeah, that's what
And I
happens with flags
won't
after
forget
a while.
the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I
Derek Jeter?
gladly stand
Oh, yeah.
up next to you
Oh, he's
and
young
defend
there.
her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
halftime.
Holy smokes. You know what's great too is that's not auto-tune. That's just him.
No, that's
all
that's
him.
why this.
It's just That's just how good he is.
Forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Holy smokes.
God bless
I didn't get as far.
the USA.
This guy's
That's good. That did-
So it wasn't that entertaining for you to watch to the end, or what?
No. I just sort of wanted to keep part of it fresh for the podcast. But I will say, we can choose to focus on, just as people in Canada, as people in the United States, as people between Canada and the United States, we can choose to focus on the things that divide us, or choose to focus on the things that bring us together. James and I have always been hugely blessed and thankful that we get to be able to tour in Canada and the United States, that we have been able to for all of our career. We've got wonderful family and friends down south, and our hearts go to you. There's lots of struggles going on right now, and it's a lot of people are still under lockdown. I know I was just talking with our grandparents down in Southern California.
Yeah,
they're
the
under
wildfires and
the
stuff.
wildfires are happening. There's a lot of unrest. It's a time where I'm sure that if you're tuned into any TV or any social media, that you can, that everybody can feel overwhelmed. And I think it's important to try and take a step away sometimes from that and remember the things that bring us together. And that's hopefully some of the messages we like to try and convey. I mean, James and I, the reason that we play music, I think we've talked about this in the podcast before, but we try and play music and write songs with an intent to create a sense of hope for people that might come and listen to us. And if there's a way that we can leave people feeling more connected with one another in the crowd,
Yeah,
that's honestly
trying to bring as many different types of people together
Exactly,
to listen to music. I mean, that's something that when we were younger, we kind of had that experience or started to kind of see that in shows like when we'd play over in Israel.
Yeah.
And there was all kinds of different people there at that World Music Festival that we'd play at, right?
That's right.
And
from different backgrounds, different
we started to see
faiths.
kind of in events like that the power that music can have to bring
the other
together.
thing that I was really when we were kids growing up playing bluegrass in the United States, down in Tennessee and Virginia, in Kentucky, all those southern states, the fact that we were Canadian never registered on those people's radar as being, something to put us at a disadvantage or think of us any differently. They just thought it was cool. And I thought, as a kid, to grow up in an environment where there was that kind of cross-border acceptance when we were younger, when we would go down there and tour and people would say, "Where are you from?" "We're from Canada." They're like, "Oh, awesome." And we're admittedly growing up playing bluegrass music. I mean, let's be honest. We're playing a style that was born deeply in the United States, deeply in the South.
It's deeply American. Yep.
And it certainly has spread around the world, had its own place to live around the world. But, we were playing and singing songs that were literally from some of these people's heartland, like their backyard, the next mountain over. Some of these songs were written on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to go down there and feel that kind of acceptance, it's the reason we still, I will say, it's one of the reasons we still play music today, is that we have that kind of encouragement and acceptance. And so we do what we can to try and repay the favor. That's
But
for
before
sure.
the mountains, it came from overseas in the British Isles.
That's
and
right.
stuff,
Yeah,
so
that's right. That's true. Fiddle tunes and
maybe
that sort of thing.
maybe we could say that the British actually could take credit for it, John.
Well, and you know what? Those
Just trying-
those tunes were there before the time. This stuff.
American.
This stuff. I think that's the thing that kind of brings us together. And
But it takes me back to
recognize
National
that about
Treasure.
music.
It takes me back to National Treasure.
everything
And how the
leads
British,
back to Nicolas Cage.
how the British are portrayed as the evil villains.
Yeah, Sean
in
Bean.
that.
He's just the bad guy all the time,
and he
he always dies.
He's at odds with American freedom.
That's right. That's right.
I love that.
He wants to steal the treasure.
Man.
Great.
You guys can dig back and see our response to that.
This was a number
National
of episodes ago.
Treasure. Our reactions to National Treasure are not dead. There's potentially National Treasure 3.
I hope they finally make that movie.
I hope all of you can go and watch National Treasure this week at some point.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's a national
If you haven't
treasure.
already.
I'll tell you what's a national treasure that I just started watching, and this is a bit of a hot take. I started watching Interstellar again. Fiercely divisive film. A lot of people cannot stand that movie, or they love it. I don't know that there's anybody who's in the mushy middle of saying, kind of liked Interstellar. It's like, it's polarizing.
It has moments where it's kind of,
well, whatever. I love that movie.
out there.
I love that movie. Like I just was watching it again, and yeah, Matthew McConaughey. There's a seductiveness to that, particularly the way he speaks. It's just hard not to watch. I will say.
He's going crazy on Instagram and stuff.
Haven't seen
these
that.
days.
Really?
Well, no, he he leaves these profound quotes and stuff that are.
But that's kind of his deal, right?
We might have to bring those up in season 2.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
This is
And he
it.
gets on there, and
We're
he,
ending season 1 talking about Matthew McConaughey.
yeah.
This
so
is how
we'll
off-road
respond.
works. We go off.
I
on
tried to
tangents.
make it National Treasure, but you decided to keep going.
Okay.
We'll see you guys. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for this
thank
incredible
you,
season.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Madison. Thank you, Wolves.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Tanya Abrams. She's not here today.
Not here, does he? You guys are fantastic.
Thank
Really
you
appreciate it.
to everybody that's been here for season 1. You guys are the old school, the original crew.
You know who you are. You know
Yeah.
who you are. Even if we didn't mention you, you know we think of you. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it.
We'll see you guys. We'll see you pretty soon. See ya.